Hey, what's up guys? Jason Julius here, and woo, it is cold in San Diego. Okay, maybe it's like 50 degrees outside, but that's cold for Southern California. And so I got my sweatshirt on, but it's probably colder wherever you're at. I grew up in Nebraska, so I know what real cold feels like, but I've been spoiled for over a decade. So this feels cold, and I feel like my penis is about that big right now. I mean, it's just tucked away. Like, you know, I'm not gonna come out until, you know, you warm it up at least 20 or 30 degrees. Just about that big right now. But speaking of penis size, that's what I wanna talk to you about in this video. Having done what I've done for a long time, inevitably I get a lot of questions from guys about penis size. And so I wanna talk to you in this video about something that's way more important than penis size. All right, let me first start off by saying that I know probably one of the biggest false beliefs that most men carry around is penis size and how much penis size matters in a sexual situation, whether or not you're capable of giving her orgasms. I would say that men actually make penis size into a way bigger deal than women typically do. Yes, there are size queens out there, but I would say that they are the minority of women. And if they want a huge penis, more power to them. That's their fetish. They should go out and find it. Just like if you have your particularities or things that you like, you should go out and find it as well. But men are typically more obsessed about penis size than women. They found out back in the 70s that, you know, when they made porns with men with small penises versus big penises, the porns that sold the best were porns with big penises. And that's continued and gotten more and more and more extreme as the decades have gone on, but they're selling to men, not to women. And so we grow up and all we see for the first time when we see another man is these men that are like the 0.1% hugest penises on the planet. And we're left to believe that, you know, every guy is supposed to have a big penis. And then, you know, the director wants the woman to say, "Oh, I love this, this feels amazing." And we're left to believe that she's absolutely loving it. And she may or may not, you know, we don't know. This is actually fiction. However, we're left, that's the only sex that we're actually able to see versus our own, right? We don't get a look into everybody's room. I would love it if we had a day where everyone could just, you know, we'd say, hey, we're gonna walk around and it's gonna be Let's Love Our Bodies Day, and everybody walk around naked. Can you imagine going to work and everyone is naked and loving their body, and everybody has to give everyone a comment about their body and make a comment about their own body about something that they love. And you'd walk around and you'd actually see that what you hold in your mind as being average or being typical is very different from reality. So give yourself a little sense of relief. And the biggest thing that I really want to say is that this false belief should not hold you back from feeling like you're, you know, worthy or feel like you're capable of being the best lover that any woman has ever had. There's something so much more important than penis size. And that's what I want to talk to you about in this video. You know, getting a woman to orgasm is about stimulating her in a way that, you know, is stimulating her sensitive spots, say her clitoris or her G-spot or her A-spot. Well, her clitoris is outside of her body, so you don't need a big penis for that. Her G-spot is about, knuckle and a half to 2 knuckles in, and so you don't need a big penis for that. Her A-spot is backed by her cervix, the vagina actually expands to the size of penis that is inserted, so you don't really need a very big penis for that either. Yes, having some, size and girth can, maybe hit it a little bit better without any technique, sure, right? But what's most important and what's more important than penis size is understanding the mental side of female orgasms. You can be extremely good at giving every single woman the best orgasms of her life if you understand that the thinking part of her mind has to quiet down. Brain scans have shown that the prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of a woman's mind, has to quiet down in order for her to let go and have an orgasm. And that can be the biggest struggle for most women, is being able to get to that state of presence. It's kind of like a flow state. And a lot of women that hear about vaginal orgasms, sometimes they, even think that they can't have those type of orgasms. It's just that they've never conditioned themselves to actually go into that state. They've never practiced going into that state. And when you can actually understand her mind, and that you have an influence over her own state and her mind because it's simply just a pattern, well, then you know that you can actually get her to an orgasm, get her to the best orgasms that she's ever had, and you'll be that guy, the guy who just gets it, the guy that she brags to her friends about, the guy who she doesn't know what he does, he just gets her there. And that's about understanding her mind. And a lot of guys would be like, well, what does that mean? Well, we could have a whole seminar on that, but let's simplify it and say it starts with deploying some empathy, thinking about her experience. What is she experiencing in her mind, and how can we help her become present? How can we understand her state? Yes, we don't have the ability to just switch off her mind and just, give her an orgasm instantly. However, particularly the woman that you're dating for a long time, you do have the ability over time, very much so, to understand her state and influence her ahead of time, create fantasy, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of it even just starts with understanding how a woman experiences desire. Women experience, the majority of women, not all women, experience desire differently than men. Men more typically, not all men, but more typically experience desire in the way that they just experience I'm turned on and I want some sex, and then something sexy comes along and then they orgasm. Well, women typically need some sexual context to come first. That's why oftentimes women are often need more foreplay, right? And so that's the way it's interpreted in mainstream society. Oh, women need more foreplay. It's women actually experience desire differently than men. They need sexy context sometimes. They need, you to be a sexually interesting man throughout the day. You imagine how unsexually interesting it is if you've been apologetic all day and she's just really not feeling you and she's not really having a lot of respect for you right now? Do you understand that her attraction for you is like a, volume knob that turns up and down at any given time? For us guys, we look at her and we see her naked and we're just, boom, we're turned on. We see her naked. Well, her attraction, her desire, that's turning up and down at any given time. And so many men make the mistake to think that, they get to the bedroom and then she should be instantly turned on like them. No, she needs a sexy context ahead of time. Sexy context, then she feels turned on, then she can get to a very or a close state of presence so that she can orgasm. But it's about understanding and having empathy that she experiences things her way, and we need to understand how she understands or how she experiences things. And we can, deploy all kinds of tools of the toolkit. For a woman who has a really hard time getting outside of her head, sometimes it can be really great to give her a massage ahead of, any sexual escalation. Just, babe, I just want to give you a massage. Obviously you lay her down, you take off most of her clothes and, pull out some grapeseed oil and give her a great massage. And you already have the grapeseed oil in your hands. It makes a great lubricant. You can go right into, stimulating her GSpot or her A-spot without her even needing to move a muscle or even, start to wake up and start to get back into that, sexual escalation. She goes from being super calm, which most of us have a really hard time becoming very calm, very outside of our minds, outside of our heads, because we're thinking, we're not present very often. Oftentimes we're not here. We're thinking about what we have to do tomorrow, what we have to do at work, what the kids need, or what your family needs, all that kind of stuff. Particularly women, they want to take care of everybody. And oftentimes they can even feel guilty for actually just wanting to tune in and feel good for themselves, and you need to help her get to that point. So if you actually take that time, massage her, and even get her so close to falling asleep that she's in that threshold consciousness. Threshold consciousness is right before you fall asleep, your mind just totally starts to quiet down, and she's finally letting go of all that stuff that her brain is like worried about and all that fear-based stuff. And then you start to like lick and kiss down her back, and you start to bring it up to more of a sexual escalation. And then suddenly you tell her, you know, as she starts to like, she'll naturally want to start to get up. You say, no, babe, just relax, relax. If she gets, you know, too visual, you can even put a blindfold on her, because that takes away that sense of like wanting to control. Just keep her very relaxed, and then move that into slowly stimulating the inside of her vagina, her G-spot or her A-spot. And as her body starts to tense, you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to tell her, just relax. Just start off slow and then work your way up, or her mind's never gonna go back into that place of worry. It's not gonna go back into that hyper place. You've already taken her down, and now you've actually, you know, now you're bringing her arousal up without bringing her mind up with it. And you can very easily give her an orgasm without, you know, her mind getting in her own way. And I think that's one of the ways that you can understand that being really good at giving your woman the best sexual experiences is about understanding where she's coming from, not about where you're coming from. And that's where I think men get really mixed up. They think that, you know, in order to be good at sex or worthy of giving her orgasms, they have to have like a huge dick or something like that. But that's something that men are obsessed about. It's not something that women are obsessed about. And women want a man who understands them, where they're coming from, to deploy some empathy and help her get out of her own way so that she can experience orgasms that that she maybe never even knew that she could have. And that is way more important than penis size. And the reality is, the reason, one of the real reasons I wanted to make this video is I think that every man deserves to be able to liberate himself from that self-limiting belief about penis size. You see it all over the place. You see all these ads for you know, pills and pumps and things that have already been proven not to work. And they're just trying to feed on your insecurity. As a man, you need to be, you know, solid in your core of who you are. And your, you know, ability to give your woman orgasms does not come from, you know, your physical size. It does not come from, you know, anything physical about you. It really comes from being able to come from your heart and be able to understand her and actually be able to move her and emotionally steer her to a place where she feels wanted, she feels beautiful, she feels seen, and she feels like this man is like so different from every other guy that I've ever met. And he's not inside his own head thinking about himself. He's thinking about me. And every time we have sex, it just gets better and better. And so that's what I want for you. And that's what I hope that you took away from this video. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I have a lot more content coming up, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you don't know how to touch your woman's G-spot or even give her a squirting orgasm, make sure that you check out my blog at jasonjulius.com/squirts. It's a purely educational video, and a lot of people have gotten a lot of great results, and I'm very grateful for all your feedback. And thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.